So, if anyone missed previous demo classes, means please go through with previous demo classes also. In previous classes, demo classes, first I explained about the day one. I explained just introduction part. The day one,
Okay.
like introduction to myself and introduction to content I gave in the day one. In day two, we discussed about in day two demo session we discussed about features of Linux. What are the advantages we have in Linux that we covered in day two? How many attended that class? Abhishek, you attended, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
also.
Rohit, you also attended?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Damodar?
Yeah, today is my first session, madam.
Okay, okay. Elberson, you also attended, right?
Already attended.
Done. So, in features, what are the features we have in Linux? What are the features we have in Linux?
Red Hat and Red Hat Linux, CentOS,
Yes.
like
Open
that's
source. Source code we
Yeah.
get along with the operating system. It means operating
Mhm.
system is free to everyone. And then license key is open. Source code is open to everyone. And source code we get with write option. It means we can modify the operating system as per our requirement. That is one thing. And second, multiple application can be run at a time. We can run multiple applications at a time, and multiple users also can log in at a time. Multiple users can log in and they can perform multiple tasks. That is also advantage of Linux.
Yes,
And
madam.
then it can be installed in all hardware architecture. In least hardware environment also, you can use Linux operating system. With least hardware environment also, if you have 512 MB RAM, 10 GB hard disk also, you can install Linux operating system. That is also advantage of it.
Yes.
Then no downtime 24/7. We can run Linux machines without restarting the computer. That is also advantage of Linux. Then
We get
same
more
operating system.
security.
Exactly. Same operating system can be installed in normal desktop PC to supercomputer. Operating system is same. No server client operating system separately. And it is more secure. Why more secure Linux? So many points we discussed.
It has
One is inbuilt IP tables are there. Means firewalls. If you want, you can enable, you can disable as per our requirement. And SC Linux also there. Secured enhanced Linux. IP tables are used to secure networking files. SE Linux are used to secure local files. And Linux is secure because it works with command line interface. So those who know the commands, they only can configure something, can install something, then access something in Linux machines. Okay, that is also one reason. And Linux is secure because without password, we cannot log in into any users. Password authentication is compulsory for every user. That is also one reason why Linux is secure. Without password, we cannot log in into our computers. Okay, and Linux is secure because it doesn't support exe files. No next finish, no auto-runs in Linux machines. Manually, we must configure everything. So that is also one reason why Linux is secure. And Linux is secure because we can encrypt a file by assigning password. In Linux, we can encrypt the files. We can convert the original data into secure format which no one can understand by assigning password. This all I will show you practically also in further classes.
okay, madam.
Overall, briefly only I'm explaining because we completed this topic. So briefly only I'm explaining. So those who missed this class, you can go through the recording videos you will get. Durgasoft team will give you the recording video. You can go through it, and there if you have any doubts, definitely you can ask me.
Sure, madam. Thank you.
Okay. And Linux is secure because no setup files. Here everything you'll get as a configuration files, no setup files. So that is also one reason why Linux is secure. Okay, so these are few reasons why Linux is secure means. And Linux is free from virus. Linux is free from virus because in Linux there is a software, inbuilt software in operating system called kernel. So what is this kernel means? Kernel is an interface between shell and hardware. So whenever you transfer any data, any input if you give like a plus b, 2 plus 2, 1 plus 1, whatever. Whenever you give any input, shell converts that into zeros and ones for system understanding purpose. Whatever data you are sending, it may be virus also. You connected a pen drive. The pen drive is infected with virus.
Okay.
Excuse me. So what shell will do is it converts that virus into zeros and ones. Okay. But in Linux, there is a kernel. So before transferring the data to hardware environment, first kernel receives the data. It checks the data. So when shell converted the virus into zeros and ones and transferred to kernel, kernel checks it. Virus is not required to our hardware environment. It rejects back. Something exe files are coming. So exe files are not supported by Linux. So it rejects back. Some applications are coming which are not supported by our hardware environment. It rejects back like that. So Linux is free from virus because of this kernel also. So this is also reason why Linux means there are many reasons why Linux is secure. So all the points, the features of Linux, we have practically also in further classes. Not in one day, day by day, all the points we'll see practically also. And next we discussed about file system hierarchy. Means what are the default directories we get along with the operating system. That we discussed, right? One moment. Mudda. Sound. Yeah. So default directories in Linux. So these are the default directories we get along with the operating system. First is /. This class also completed. I'm just giving overview of it. Okay. So these are the default directories we have in Linux. /, it is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. Directory means folder. In Windows, we call folder. In Linux, we call directory. Okay. So // is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. It is similar to C in Windows. We have C drive in Windows, right? Same like that in Linux, we have /. So under this /, we have subdirectories. Directory means folder, remember. So first is root. Root is the home directory for super user. As a super user, you logged in into computer and you created any files or directories, the data is going to store under root. Okay, and super user means administrator, remember. And next one is home. Home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in into computer and you're creating any files or directories, the data is going to store under home. So home is the home directory for normal users. And next is boot. Boot contains bootable files and kernel. Boot contains bootable files and kernel. Operating system bootable files and kernel is stored under boot. Kernel stored under boot up to version 6. Sbin contains super user commands. The commands which can be executed by super user. The commands are stored under sbin. Bin contains normal user commands. The commands which can be executed by normal user. That commands are stored under bin. USR contains default applications, applications which comes along with operating system. That applications are stored under USR. Var contains variable files. System log files means task manager. In Windows, it is like task manager. When you open task manager, you can see that how many users are logged in. So what are the applications they are running? What is the CPU size they are using? What is the memory they are using? You can see that information, right? In Linux, in var it contains that information. How many users are logged in? So which user is executing what commands? All that information is stored under var. Dev contains devices information. Devices means partitions. In Windows, we call partitions. In Linux, we call devices. Dev contains devices information. ETC contains configuration files. System configuration files are stored under ETC. As you know, Linux works with configuration file, not setup file. So all that configuration files are stored under ETC. OPT contains optional applications. Applications which we install manually. That applications are stored under OPT. Optional applications. Like optional applications means they are not compulsory to install. If we want, we install some applications. So that applications are stored under OPT. Media contains external devices information. Means removable devices information like external hard disk, DVD writer, pen drives. That information is stored under media. Up to version 6. Linux version 6. MNT contains partitions and their mounted directories information. Which partition is linked with which directory? That information is maintained by MNT. In Linux, after creating partitions, directly we cannot access the partition. So how we access the partition means we create directory. After creating partition and formatting it, we create a directory means folder. And then we give link between partition and directory. And we access the partition through directory. This concept, when I show you practically, at the time you'll understand very clearly. So MNT contains which partition is linked with which directory. That information is maintained by MNT. And next one is run. Run contains external devices information, means removable devices information, and kernel information. Run contains external devices information and kernel from version 7 onwards. So these are the default directories we have in Linux. This is also completed concept. I just give overview again. Any point is not clear, you can ask me in the classroom itself. I already told you from day one, I'm telling this. In all the demo classes, I'm telling, and again now I'm telling, any doubt, any point is not clear, you can ask me here itself. You can immediately you can ask me, or there is a chat box, right? You can message me there. In the chat box, you can message me. I will read and definitely I will repeat the concept if something you're not clear. And as I told you, there will be a Telegram group also. So this all the notes I will share to Telegram. Whatever the concepts I'm explaining, that I will share to your Telegram group. So those who registered already, ask them for the Telegram group. Abhishek, it seems you paid already, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, even I accepted. I'm just waiting for access.
Then did you ask for the Telegram?
Yes,
Not
ma'am. I
yet,
already, but they didn't give me the link.
Okay. Rohit, you also paid?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to them. I'll ask them to create a Telegram group.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And from today, classes will be continued. Okay. Regular classes will be there on the same time, 9 p.m.
Okay.
So these are the directories we have in Linux. These all the directories we use in our regular classes also. As an administrator, you should know the function of each directory. Okay. And then hardware requirement. If you want to install Linux operating system, see, if you want to practice means you must install the operating system, right? Any Linux operating system is required in order to practice. So if you want to install Linux operating system means, so minimum hardware requirement is processor, dual core processor, and RAM. For command line interface 512 MB RAM, for graphical user interface 1 GB, and hard disk space for command line interface 10 GB, and for graphical user interface 15 GB is recommended, but I will show with 10 GB also graphical user interface configuration, because you're not going to install Linux operating system directly in your laptops, right? You're not going to install in your hard disk directly. So because this is just for practical purpose, so you no need to install it directly in your hard disk. There is a software virtual machine. I will show how to install Linux in virtual machine. Okay, that is better. That is recommended to everyone just for practical purpose. If you are installing means, when you are perfect, you can install directly in your hard disk. That is your wish. So this is the minimum requirement, hardware requirement. All the notes, whatever I'm explaining, theoretically and practically, whatever I'm explaining, everything I will share you the notes. So no need to worry about the notes. No need to write the notes when I'm explaining, because every point, every command, I will share the notes. If you want, you can write. That is your wish. But whatever I explain, if you follow that, you will be perfect in Linux. Linux is not at all difficult. If you understand what I'm explaining, if you understand, that is enough. If you don't understand any point, again, I'm telling, you can ask me. Always, I'll be there to support. You can ask me. Even you are doing the practicals, after finishing the class or before class or Saturdays, Sundays, if you're doing the practicals, if you have any doubts at the time also, you can ask me. That group will be permanent. After finishing the course also, you can ping me there if you have any doubts. And recording videos also you'll get from the Durgasoft team, but they will give 6 months validity access, they will give for the recording videos. And these are the recommended partitions and their sizes in Linux. These are recommended, not compulsory. But one question for freshers you will get in interviews. As a fresher, you're going, or L1 level jobs, if you're going also, support jobs you're going also, you'll get one question, that is, what are the recommended partitions in Linux? Means this are the recommended, but you will get the question, what are the compulsory partitions? You must know that. What are the compulsory partitions in Linux? Forward slash and swap are the compulsory partitions in Linux. Forward slash and swap are the compulsory partitions in Linux. Forward slash is compulsory because it is a parent directory. Forward slash is compulsory because it is a parent directory. It is similar to C in Windows. In C drive is compulsory in Windows, right? Because it is a primary partition. Without primary partition, no operating system can be installed. So C is compulsory in Windows, right? Same like that here. Forward slash is compulsory. And next one is swap. What is swap means? It is a virtual memory. Swap is a virtual memory which we create from hard disk. Memory means what? Storage. Physical memory means what? Which we can touch and we can store. Like RAM, ROM, hard disk, these are physical memories. But swap is a virtual memory. It means we cannot touch it. It is used for storing, but we cannot touch it. Okay, then what is the use of this swap memory? Means it is used to increase the performance of RAM. See, now your RAM size is 1 GB. Okay, you have 1 GB RAM. It means using 1 GB space, we can send the data and we can receive the data. Now, while installing the operating system, you can create swap memory with twice the RAM size, means double of the RAM size. It means your RAM is 1 GB, means using 2 GB space, you can create virtual memory. Now 2 GB space, if you are adding to your 1 GB RAM, what is the total size of your RAM now? Can anyone tell? You have 1 GB RAM. Now 2 GB space you are adding to your RAM. Means what is the size?
Now it is 2 GB.
3 GB.
Okay.
Twice the RAM, no? 1 GB you have,
Okay. Yeah.
twice the
1%
RAM. Means 2 GB you can add to your RAM. 2 plus 1 means 3 only, right? So
Yes,
now your RAM size is 3 GB. Using 3 GB space, you can send the data and you can receive the data. Up to 4 GB, RAM size is twice the RAM, double of the RAM. So if your RAM size is 2 GB, you can create 4 GB space. And you can add to your RAM. 4 plus 2, 6 GB. Now, if you have 4 GB RAM, see up to 4 GB only. Below 4 GB, if you have RAM means twice the RAM. Double of the RAM size, you can create virtual memory and you can add to your RAM. Okay, so from 4 GB, physical RAM plus 2 GB. It means your RAM size is 4 GB. It means 4 plus 2. Using 6 GB space, you can create virtual memory and you can add to your RAM. So your virtual memory size is 6 GB, your RAM size is 4 GB. It means 10 GB space you have in your RAM now. See, if you have 8 GB RAM, if you have 8 GB RAM means you can create 8 plus 2 means using 10 GB space. You can create swap memory and you can add that space to your RAM. So 10 GB plus 8 GB, now total size is 18 GB. Using 18 GB space, your RAM can send the data and receive the data. If you have 12 GB RAM, your RAM size is 12 GB. So you using how much space we can create virtual memory now? Tell me.
14 GB.
Exactly. 14 GB. 12 plus 2. Physical RAM plus 2 GB. Physical RAM is 12 GB plus 2 GB. Using 14 GB space, you can create swap memory. So that space you can add to your RAM. Now, you have 16 GB RAM.
18.
Sorry. 16 GB RAM. Now, what is your swap memory size?
18 GB.
18 GB. Exactly. 18 GB space you can add to your RAM. 18 plus 16 GB space. Using that, you can send the data and receive the data. So how to create it, that I will show you while installing the operating system. Even we have swap memory class separately also. After installing the operating system also, we can create swap memory. That we have the class in partitions. Almost it will take 1 week, more than 1 week time to discuss about the swap. After entering to the operating system, how to create, that I will show you practically in further classes. While installing the how to create the swap memory, mostly tomorrow only I will show you that. So these are the recommended partitions. In this, compulsory partitions are / and swap are the compulsory partitions. / is compulsory because it is a parent directory. Swap is compulsory to increase the performance of RAM. Okay, so remaining partitions, whether you create or not, so no issues. But these two, they will come along with the operating system by default. But / and swap are the compulsory. while installing the operating system. So now, if you want to practice anything in Linux, first of all, you must install the operating system, right? So, in order to install operating system, we have many methods. First is, if you have new laptop, happy, install Linux operating, get ISO file, bootable pen drive, insert into your USB, boot from USB, and start installation. Fine. No, you already have a laptop or desktop with Windows machine. Okay, so in that scenario, one thing, remove that Windows operating system, install Linux operating system. But you don't want to do like that because you lost your data. You don't want to disturb your Windows just for practical purpose. Second option. Okay, so make it for Windows and Linux like dual operating system. For that, what is required? First, install Windows operating system, format entire hard disk. Assume there is a 1 TB hard disk. Format entire hard disk using 800 GB. Install Windows operating system. Okay. And using remaining space, you can create Linux operating system. That remaining space we called as non-DOS partition. Okay. So using that space, install Linux operating system. So after installing two operating system, after installing two operating systems, when you switch on your computer, it will show you both operating system options. It will show you. So which one you want to install, you can select that operating system and you can use it. That is one method. But you don't want to go with this method also, because here also, first of all, you must format entire hard disk, then only you will install two operating systems. So you don't want to do like that also. Okay, because it will disturb your Windows operating system.
Yes.
Okay, and next option, the best option for newly practicing people, the best option is virtual machine. There is a third party software called virtual machine. Just download this virtual machine. So see, if your Windows, if you have Windows 7, then install VMware 10. If you have Windows 8, you can install VMware 12, 12 Pro, 10 Pro. If you have Windows 10, you can install VMware 15 Pro. If you have Windows 11 operating system, you can install VMware 16 or 17 Pro. But I recommended 16 only. 16 is the best. Okay, so download VMware software and you can install. You can download it from Google and you can install it. It asks for the license key. You can ask me, I will share the license key. And when you join into the Telegram group, if you want, I will share this link also. VMware link also I will share.
Sure, madam. You can.
Now, for practice purpose, we require two. Damodar, you're asking something?
Yeah, you can share, madam.
Yes, I'll share. So, in order to practice Linux, you require two.
For practicing.
One is VMware For Linux, one is VMware and Linux ISO file. So VMware you can download, even ISO file also you can download. This file also, ISO file also I will share with you in Telegram group. Once you join into the Telegram, I'll share ISO file also. Okay. So after downloading this virtual machine, you can install it. Installation is very easy. Next, finish. You can install. After installing the virtual machine, when you double click on the virtual machine, you'll get the screen like this. Okay. So I'm already using this virtual machine. See, I created many virtual machines also. I'm using them. Okay, if you want, you can create virtual machine. Virtual machine means a computer we are creating virtually. Physically, we cannot touch it, but virtually you can use it. Same like our laptop or desktop, you can use it. Only the difference is physically you cannot touch. So everything will be there. There will be RAM, ROM, hard disk, processor, everything is there, but physically we cannot touch it. We are creating virtually one computer. Okay. So how to create it means click on create a virtual machine. Click on this option, create a virtual machine. Now select the option typical. Next, there will be 3 options. Select the last one. I will install the operating system later. Click on next. Which operating system you want to install, whether you want to install Windows or Linux or any other operating systems also you can install. As of now, I want to install Windows, Linux operating system. So select Linux. Click on next. You can give any name to your virtual machine. Otherwise, let it be. Now, click on browse. And now, select any one partition where you have space. Click on this PC. If you have multiple partition, select where the more space is available. So here I have the space. Click on, I'm selecting my D drive. Now create a folder. It means we are creating one hard disk space we are creating for our virtual machine. I created a virtual machine. Okay, already there. I created a folder. You can create a folder with any name. Now select the folder. Okay. Next. Now, how much space you want to give? You can enter the space as per your requirement. I'm giving 40 GB. This space is sufficient for our practicals. Now, store virtual disk as a single file. Select this option. Next. Finish. Now, virtually one computer is created with 1 GB RAM, 1 processor and 40 GB space. The space what we give. Okay. So now, next part is what? Download ISO file and save it in a place. Now, I already have ISO file, operating system file. Now, click on CD or DVD. Click on CD or DVD. Now, click on use ISO image file. Now, browse and select the location where you downloaded or copied your ISO file. Then click on OK. That's it. Virtual machine is created and ISO file also connected. Now, if you click on power on this virtual machine means it will start installation process. So how to install the operating system that I will show you in tomorrow's session. How to create virtual machine. Is that clear to everyone? When you are creating the virtual
Yes, ma'am.
machine, when you downloaded and creating the virtual machine, if you have any doubts, I'll be there to guide you. Even you'll get the recording videos also. You can follow that. Otherwise, I'll be there definitely.
Okay, madam. I have one doubt,
Is this
madam.
clear? Yeah, Damodar?
Here, processor is
Okay.
only one you have given. It's enough.
Sorry? Come
Processor.
again? Processor?
You have given only one CPU core process.
Yeah. That is enough.
Okay.
That is the advantage of Linux on. That
Okay,
is
madam.
enough. And now it will not disturb your Windows machine. If you don't want to practice, you don't want to Linux, you can just remove this virtual machine. If you want, you can uninstall your VMware software also. Whenever you open virtual machine software, and when you open your Linux, then only you are going to use your Linux machine. When you are using this virtual machine, in the same time you can work with your Windows also if you want.
Okay. Because it's a virtual only.
Yes. So in tomorrow's session, I will show you how to install the operating system. Okay. So this is about today's session. Thank you so much for the session. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
And those who have any doubts, anything, you can ask me. Remaining Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good sleep.
Thank you, madam.